You won't see this on the CBC or the CTV, so please contribute to keep this going. Independent analysis. Andrew Perez is a Liberal strategist. He joins me right now because let's just talk about the Liberal strategy. It looks like the Prime Minister has completely eschewed his views of 5 years ago when he was writing about net zero and no oil and gas, and he has seen the light perhaps. The speech from the throne could have been written by the Conservatives. It's almost virtually the Conservative platform. Is this a case, and it has been the case before, of a Liberal Prime Minister being somewhat of a chameleon?
I don't think it's the case, Stephen. All of these policies and approaches have been telegraphed over the last 4 months in the leadership race that Mr. Carney won by a sweeping majority, and then in the general election campaign. And we're actually seeing some meat on the bones now. Carney has outlined in this speech from the throne, this historic speech from the throne, mind you, that he's going to create a major federal projects office, which will coordinate these projects of national importance, West-East pipelines, for example.
Yeah, talking about pipelines. This man, a year ago, would never have anything to do with pipelines, and now we have, we'll talk about ministers in a little while, but Hodgson is out in the West preaching pipelines.
Well, and let's look at the facts. The new Minister of Energy and Natural Resources is Tim Hodgson, a business titan who was the CEO of Goldman Sachs Canada and who worked with Mr. Carney at the Bank of Canada. That speaks volumes. Guy Beau, he's still in the cabinet, but he's no longer in the environmental post.
So I predict he's not going to be in the cabinet in a year because he's going to realize that he is just so out of sync with this. But really, this Liberal Prime Minister is completely the opposite of what the last 10 years of government in Canada were.
Well, and that's what Canadians wanted. Mr. Carney earned a strong minority government on a mandate for change. And he, in his first meeting with Donald Trump, mind you, said, we are forging a new security and economic relationship with the U.S.
So then why did Carney have all these has-been Liberal ministers in his government, like, as you mentioned, Guy Beau, who is out still saying no pipelines. I mean, they should be off of his head by now. And Joly and other ministers who are there who are they've been supporting this for 10 years.
Well, I would say respectfully, Stephen, these talking points from the Conservatives and some media outlets are getting tired. This is a new Prime Minister, and indeed Canadians see this as a new government.
What do you getting tired by mean? How can you have someone there running a department who's been there for 10 years and is going from black to white?
Well, this is a new government with a new mandate. Canadians aren't seeing this as a fourth Liberal term. They're seeing it as a new government. And I think we're going to see with the cabinet, the majority of the cabinet is new. And so with that, you are going to see substantive change, and it's going to put the Conservatives in between a rock and a hard spot. They're going to have to support many of these legislative pieces.
And they will, or else they'll have no credibility whatsoever. On that point, 3 minutes. Andrew Perez, thank you very much.
Thank you.
To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.